What up, everybody out there in podcast land? Thank you for tuning in yet again to the another. Jeez, I'm goofing up the intro already. I got stuff running through my head. Another episode of Ken Ross presented. Yeah, I said a podcast. We're expressing our full capabilities to the Washington Correctional Facilities. Thank goodness I'm not next to DC right now. Brainchild of my child. I am the dad of this operation, Ross Cooper. As always, I am rocking with the best, my co-host. Please introduce yourself to the folks.
Yeah, well, what's good, everybody? Everybody's having a good day, month, hour, year, second, all that good stuff. You watching on all the platforms, please share with your friends, your family, pets, animal, bugs outside, mailman, trash man, U.S. Marshals. If you're watching on the tube, please like, share, comment, subscribe, because if you don't, the pet gonna run away.
That's cruel. So yeah, I don't know. I don't know if we should share this with the U.S. Marshals, my guy. We've been under the radar so far. You start sharing this with U.S. Marshals, we might not be under the radar much longer. We not exactly talking that talk that folks that want to put on now those kind of badges like.
Yeah, you gotta
Um,
share the podcast. You can share something else with them though. Uh,
see, that's not a threat, boys and girls. It's not a threat. Yay.
I never said it was. I just said you can share something else with them. It could have been a hug. You just took it there.
Damn, you're right. You're
Right.
right.
So
You're right. You're
you
right.
rejected could
You're
have been
right.
it. I left it open-ended, so it's up for interpretation. But you just said, damn, threat. See, that's how we get killed. I just said some open-ended shit. Now automatically I'm violent. Look at this. I had no problem if you do.
Stop resisting. Oh, sorry. That's a joke. That's not really a joke, though. Slowly working my way back into Yankee fitteds. It's not a Yankee fitted. It is a New York hat, but it's not a Yankee fitted. I'm just feeling some kind of way, especially since right now, like, here's the funny part. The two most liberal states, of course, are the glorious Empire State in California. And right now, it's California that's really been with the shits. Jasmine Crockett and a whole bunch of other Texas Democrats dipped out of Texas and they dipped right over to Cali. And Gavin Newsom was like, yeah, come through. Look, you good here. So I'm like, where you at, New York? I mean, Pac says something in California love. In Cali, only in Cali will we riot, not rally. I can't be I can't be mad at that. I can't be mad at that. They riot in Cali. It ain't just rallies. They will burn some shit down. You know. At least I can let that bar go. It ain't like that J Electronica bar we're talking about New York rappers calling Southern rappers lame, then jacking our slang. Jay, I've not forgotten about that, and it's patently false. No,
It's
we did
true.
not jack.
It's true. It's true. But I mean, hey, all right.
Whatever, B. You
Yeah,
can't. You
it's true.
at one point you have to tell me what Southern slang did we ever incorporate in New York? Ever? Okay, but speaking of which, that was the perfect pivot. Setting this off. And happy birthday, hip hop. We are recording this on August 12th. The birthday of hip hop is August 11th, 1973, before both of us were born. Sedgwick Ave in the BX. Wow, that was a long time ago. It's amazing what's happened from then to now. I bring this up, and I've always said, okay, what if rap never happened? Um, because those who want to know on the base, slightly beneath the base level, know there's four elements to hip hop culture. Rap is just one of the elements. It's rap, breaking, DJing, graffiti. The only thing that seems to have really endured and blown up though is the rap part. Um, I don't know a whole bunch of people doing graffiti. It is a thing though. It did get mainstream because folks really legit got arrested for tagging on trains and buildings and this and that. Just another thing cops that used against. Breakdancing kind of faded out. It kind of got a light shown on it when it was in the Olympics, and that Caucasian lady Ray Gun pretty much disrespected the art form. That was wow. That was weird. But DJing is still a thing. DJing is absolutely still a thing. Um, And I think there's a difference. You can help me out here between DJing and actual producing, making beats. Like Kid Capri is an amazing DJ. I can't tell you a Kid Capri beat. Primo is probably top two all time when it comes to production. I don't know if you call Primo to DJ your party. So there is some nuanced difference between DJing and actual production. You see what I'm saying? Because yeah, Idris Elba and Shaq are amazing DJs. I don't think I want a Shaq beat though. But so you know what? I'm curious. What do you recall as your entry point to hip hop? What was the earliest hip hop you can remember listening to?
The 90s. Uh, something you was playing in the car. I know he played in was it MOP? It probably was. It was MOP and
No, no, I did.
it was Yeah That's Us. Well Gilly in them. Yeah,
Okay, major
90s.
figures.
Yeah, Major Figures.
Funny how the world works, dude. I intentionally bought kid-friendly hip hop for you.
And yet still blessed other.
Going to basketball practice, we
That's the
intentionally
only
put on.
time you play friendly kid
I,
friendly. That is the
dude,
only time you played that. We is not going to rewrite history like I wasn't there. You
dude,
played it. That's the. I'm surprised. That's you probably only yeah, really you only played this because I asked for that CD. That's the one I wanted. Other than
Bow
that,
Wow,
you were playing
oh,
whatever.
bruh.
You did not
I
care. You
I
did
played the
not care.
Roots. I played the Roots.
That's
Lots of
real kid
Metallica
friendly.
and
Yeah,
metal.
you played everything. Exact my point. There was no kid friendly in there.
Well, it's the Roots. Like it ain't.
They talking about some real and you didn't just play the roots. It was 50, JM, it was a whole lot of stuff. And then, see, this is why you can't just picking about being the super dad, because that's not what you did. It's all right. We lived and learned. I'm all right. I learned a lot. Expanding
All
my
right.
broad music, the good and the bad. Good.
I was intentionally not playing the hard, super hardcore stuff with you in
On
the
the way to
car.
basketball practice, that was the only time you cared about. Only because I asked for that tape, that CD. I wouldn't even take the CD.
Can't believe this cat just outed me. Like, what the hell?
Yeah, they can't.
Like, yo, dog.
You act like I said you just let me do whatever and all that. No, you blasted whatever music you wanted to blast.
Dude,
You
like I said, I played the Roots. I played Coltrane.
yeah,
We
Slipknot is
played.
real kid friendly. Talking about putting something in your eyes.
It was a metaphor. It's a
Oh
metaphor.
no, oh, but I'm
It's not literal. It's not literal. So we're talking about Slipknot's duality. It's if you listen to duality, it's not literally pushing your fingers in your
all
eyes.
right.
It's
So
it's
what does listen to Slipknot make you want to do?
it's get high. It depends.
Ain't no depends. You know what it does. Get your heart rate up. Get you amped. It's basically the white version of Annie up. Like, what are we
She
doing?
is everything to me.
That's familiar.
See,
That ain't the word. So
right. Vermilion has a very
yeah,
cool.
even that's dark.
Vermilion has two versions. Anyone who doesn't knows Vermilion
No,
has two versions. One version is a little more, but there is a smoothed out version to
all right.
Vermilion.
So if I'm rapping a soft tone about murdering somebody, cool. But if I scream about it, it's like it doesn't really matter what my tone is at that point. It's what I'm saying. I'm going to shoot you in the head. Ooh. Like no, that's on GTA. So yeah, the tone doesn't
Yes.
matter. It was the same subject. It was the exact same song. It's just a nice little uh,
Oh my goodness.
having a
No,
good
because
time.
the other version of Vermilion was actually on the Resident Evil soundtrack and the first Resident Evil movie soundtrack. That's actually how I came across Slipknot, ironically. The original Vermilion is on the Resident Evil soundtrack. Now that is something you want to might make you want to beat somebody's ass to. I understand. But again, you were younger, and it's I didn't want you to just have like in because I was born in '77. By default, it was a lot of black music, obviously, but I also grew up when MTV was coming around. So when my mother wasn't playing a whole bunch of Tina Marie, Diana Ross, Rick James, there was a lot of MTV. So that's where the Phil Collins and all of that comes from in me. In your case, I just wanted to make sure you had diversity. So there was some hip hop, there was some metal, there was some jazz. I didn't do country because it just wasn't really country music, but you had a diverse plate of art. So, but we were talking about hip hop, and I'm trying to figure out. I'm just curious. What do you consider your entry point hip hop?
I
Because
just said it. Then you just went on a tangent about what you didn't and clearly didn't do. Like, what are we doing? Yes. Shout out to hip hop. Yes. No Malice or Malice, whatever he goes by now. Yeah, he might be the rapper of the year. I'm sorry.
okay, and I don't think I said this on the show, dude. I was literally like just recently found out they're not twins. They're just brothers.
Yeah, I thought they were twins too.
I thought because I'm like, wait a minute, because I listened to Birds Don't Sing, and I was listening to like, wait a minute, y'all twins? Oh snap, they're not twins.
I mean, we know they're brothers, but I thought they were twin brothers. But hey, that's not.
Same. I thought they were twins. I'm like, oh wow, I didn't because I heard Malice talking about how he's the oldest. I'm like, by what, a couple minutes? No, legit. I think you're like 3, 4 years apart. Like, oh, I never knew that. Well, okay, all
Yeah.
right, fair, fair. I'm
Yeah.
sorry. There was a parenting fail. I tried to adjust what you were listening to. My bad. Like I said, more the roots, less MOP. Yeah, well, that didn't go too well. Uh, but no, I'm just thinking 50 some odd years later, the impact of hip hop. Um, I'm gonna have to modify my stance a bit. The impact of hip hop, I don't think has been, and now I'm talking all of it combined, not just rap, but that's of course that's the biggest slice of the pie. All of it combined, I think it's neutral. And what I mean by that is this. I used to say if hip hop never happened, we'd all be better off because of it. That was actually my indictment on rap music. Overall, I think my issue is hip hop has not manifested what it could have been. And there's a lot of reasons why. But I think as much as hip hop is, as much as it is giving a voice to a Black Thought, to a Talib, a Mos Def, um, how the beautiful way we've manipulated this language, you know, um, taking a Gil Scott Heron and Last Poets and a poetic piece of it and taking it much higher than it ever could have, than poetry itself has ever gone. Um, there's a lot of debate about it, but I still think Jay's verse and God did is one of the most amazing verses ever written. And when you understand the reality in that verse, it's like, yeah, I don't know how you can argue. From a technical standpoint, from a metaphorical standpoint, from a life experience standpoint, the greatest instance of lyricism ever recorded to me is still Black Thought's freestyle. I don't know how anyone could possibly have an argument to that. But overall, I just don't think hip hop manifested as much as it could have. And I think that split happened in the late 80s, early 90s, when somehow NWA gets elevated and PE stays where they are. I think that's where you really start to see things fall apart. No pun intended. Shout out to the Roots and Chino Achebe. Um, but that's we start to see things diverge and fall apart. And that's what it's like hip hop today is just I'm happy it's turned around because you and I talked about this off air. I'm happy it's turned around. It's between Kendrick and Clips and Rhapsody, and I haven't listened to it all, but people I trust yourself have said that JID project is good. We're
It's
coming
a
back
classic.
to where you gotta listen again. You can't just smoke something and zone out. You gotta listen to lyrics again. It's layers, double entendres, it's actual writing back in hip hop again. So that's a good thing. But overall, I just think it could have been more, and we can debate about the reasons of why it's not. But I think hip hop could have been more than what it is now. But again, obviously our generational difference. I'm curious. 50 some odd years later, man, what do you think? What's your thought on where hip hop is right now on its birthday?
It's going in a good place as long as this, RB Lawgram doesn't mess up the genre with this lawsuit and limit free speech. Um, I think it's going in a great direction. A civil war happened. Now, real rappers outside of you. I'm good with that. Now, the women's side seems to be the exact same, but you never know.
Oh no no
It
no
will
no
change.
no 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 no. How can you say that?
The main ones, Rhapsody aside, the mainstream ones still rap about the same stuff. So it's still the same, but maybe that can change.
Okay, and I will say I'll ride with you on some of that. I will say it's disappointing to see the heights that Nicki reached, that Cardi reached, and they just seem to be intent on destroying their legacies. Like between Nicki and Cardi is kind of shocking. Like, dog.
Is it?
And this is, I think, sometimes where the internet sucks because I don't really care what you do besides the music, fam. I don't. And I understand in your age, in your era, social media, we care. Everyone cares. It's not just the music. It's what do you eat for breakfast? It's what do you do with this? What do you feel about that? Give us the slaps. What's the music like? What's the music? The sad reality of it is Nicki can actually rap, but you married a pedophile and you've been crashing out on social media, and it's like, come on, dog. When you look at that track Monster, which is probably again her one of her greatest instances of lyricism, one of my personal favorite Nicki verses is on Seeing Green.
Mm.
Like, come on now. And funny thing is, she called it on Seeing Green. The one chick could be my op that she defends me is corporate giants and machines that went against me. You have a point, Nicki. So what? So what? So what? And then now seeing Cardi, she just got caught up in something. I ain't seen it online because again, I'm more about the music. But she didn't call some of her own fans fat or something insulting, so fat shaming. So that that ain't gonna fly well. And I'm like, dog, just give us the music. But from a women's standpoint, Rhapsody, there's Ciroc the MC, there's Lady London. If you
All the
want some
names
gritty,
that mainstream people don't. I'm specifically talking about mainstream because all the
okay.
names we name on the dude sides are all mainstream and they're rapping again. And so they're all known. The names you just named, outside of maybe Rhapsody, and that's still a big maybe, most of you don't know. Hell, I might not even know what the hell you're talking about, to be honest with you. But yeah,
I mean, I got a bold take. I was talking to my homeboy. Shout out to Jay Hill. I was talking to my homeboy. Rhapsody did something Nas couldn't do. So here's what I mean. Illmatic is arguably one of the greatest hip hop CDs ever. Definitely, probably greatest debut album ever. The only argument you could probably make on that might be
cool.
as far as a debut is Dark and Hell is Hot. DMX is first.
No,
You might gonna make an argument for
no,
DMX first.
we're gonna stop this right now. Well, at least, well, that's your opinion. But for me, no, it's by itself. There's the Hall of Fame, and then there's the table for that one person. There he is. And that
Okay.
one CD. That tape made him the GOAT, basically. So, no, it's no.
Okay. So where I was going was Nas made Illmatic, and it was so good and so ahead of its time, really. Depending on who you, it took a while. The follow up was it was written. Purist,
Classic.
absolute lyrical rap purist will try to make the argument that it's equal or maybe better than Illmatic.
It's Godfather 1 and 2. You can't really
Right.
depict. That's what it is.
But me personally, I've always said we don't get something that equals Illmatic until we get to Stillmatic, quite frankly. But that's just my take. However, where I'm going with that is this: Rhapsody's Eve album is classic. It is front to back classic. And then to follow, you know what? It's Raekwon, actually. But I'll tell you that in a minute. But to follow up Eve with Please Don't Cry, oh my God. If you have not heard Please Don't Cry, again, it is Rhapsody. Man,
It's a great concept. Well, it's a class. I mean, a lot of people have classics. Don't mean you have to compare every classic to Illmatic.
I'm just saying from the standpoint of to follow up a classic, to start off with a classic and follow it up with something that's just as good and arguably, for the sake of debate, might be better.
That's Nas. So where's the better than Nas didn't do? He did that.
I
He
just,
literally did that. Well, Illmatic, it was written. He literally did.
it, you see, this is where we get shaky because it was written. It's not as good as Illmatic. It's not bad.
It's
It's
cool.
equal to,
Well,
but
to
yeah,
me, it is.
I get it. Writers are gonna argue, but part of the thing that you cannot duplicate is, and this is up for interpretation, and this is one of those maybe you had to be there because you're listening with a different set of ears and understand that. For those of us who've been around, part of the allure of Illmatic is everything that happened when that came out. There was nothing like it. It was only 10 tracks. Every track is a jewel. If you said your favorite track on Illmatic was Represent, no one's mad at you. If you said your favorite track on Illmatic was It Ain't Hard to Tell, no one's every track is a standalone jewel.
No
First
skip.
time we've seen multiple producers on one. How like it,
No
you can't
skips.
duplicate the impact. That's the thing. It was
Yeah.
written. We were expecting Illmatic Part Two, essentially.
They switched it up on you. It made probably one of the greatest lyrical albums ever.
See, that's the other problem.
Storytelling albums ever. Yeah.
I have to look at the track list, but it was. I think it was written as a skip or two on it. There are no skips on Illmatic. That's the other issue. There are no skips. You play all 10 joints straight. You play Illmatic straight through. It was written. It's got a couple skips on there. But anywho, where I was going with that was I'm saying Rhapsody the same thing. You have Eve, and then you followed up with Please Don't Cry. It's like, oh my God. We weren't didn't know if you could top Eve. That is a perfect joint top to bottom. And then you come Please Don't Cry. If you haven't heard Rhapsody's Please Don't Cry, you are doing yourself a disservice completely. Um, but getting back to where we started, yeah, I think my issue with hip hop overall is it's done some amazing things. I think it could have been more. The reason as to why it's not is what might be up for debate. So to that end, if I had to give it a grade, it's a C plus. It's a C plus. It has definitely raised some people out of bad situations. It has created stars and household names that are people we may have never come across if they were just poets. Hip hop overall, to me, is a C plus because of its origins, because of how it started in New York City, in the boroughs. There's so much knowledge that got wrapped up. Like you go to Rakim, Wu Tang. This is the first time a lot of us heard 5% knowledge. This is the first time a lot of us heard men refer to each other as God. You know what I mean? So it's just little things that were in there, lots and lots of wisdom and knowledge that we got exposed to outside of the typical go to church, open your Bible. It was a lot wrapped up in it. And this is not me just quote unquote glazing New York. It's just looking at what hip hop came from. But then, like I said, I think the shift happened, and no, not to the left coast. I think the shift happened when NWA came on the scene, and you could hold up NWA and simultaneously suppress PE. She went left. She went left. And then you circle back and you get Big and Puff and Unpopular Opinion. Shit went even further left.
No pun intended. Uh, shadow pun, double pun. Yeah.
What? But yeah, happy birthday hip hop, and I hope I don't know if it ever will, because now with the control issues, you and I know about Immortal Technique. Most people don't. I'm like with that. That's kind of my litmus test. If I'm talking to somebody about hip hop, and I mention Immortal Technique, and they know what I'm talking about, I know we speak the same language.
Surprised I didn't get suspended for that song I played in school. But yeah, on Spanish classes, yeah, Spanish song. And he was saying, now that I know Spanish a little bit more than I did back
Wait,
then.
wait, 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 wait. You played Golpe de Estado in school?
Yes, it was a Spanish project I had in the background. Hey, geez,
One, one. Shout out to whoever produced it for sampling The Godfather. That's
yeah,
that's one hell of a sample flip.
yeah.
Like,
That's sad because I knew that from the song before I knew because I watched the movie later in life.
right,
But
right. That's one hell of a sample flip.
I'm like, hold up, this is Godfather too. I'm like, hold up, why does that sound familiar? I'm
Right.
thinking, I'm thinking now
Um,
like the kid who was like Mortal Take. Oh, so that's where they got that from. Okay,
yes, that was one hell of that's digging in the crates for sure. That is digging in the crates.
hey, that's a classic
That's an ear.
both
That's
ways.
an ear.
Like, it was a classic in the movie. It's a classic in the song. So hey,
Hmm.
man, gotta get
Yeah,
to
we
it.
gotta talk about that on camera. I don't remember that instance, sir. You actually played.
It's part of a project. I think it was high school. So this is, but they didn't say nothing. So at least I don't remember. I know I ain't get suspended for that. So I don't think she said nothing. I don't think maybe the song did.
Especially since
Hey, hey.
Especially since neither one of us do the translation. We just know it's a Immortal Technique, so we kind of
I
figured where
knew
it was
probably
going.
like back then. I probably knew about 5, 6 words. That's it. And now I know a lot more without even looking it up. But and I was like, oh, you were saying some real stuff, but you were saying some real stuff.
Of course, it's a Immortal Technique. For those who
I
don't know
think that
Immortal
was in
Technique,
high
just
school.
look it up.
If I wasn't in high school at that time, it probably would have been like if I played that middle school, elementary school, yeah, it probably been different. But I guess high school they didn't really give they didn't care.
Yeah, we didn't get a phone call home to my knowledge, so you go.
Yeah,
You go.
they didn't
You go.
they didn't care.
But yeah, it just like I said, I thought hip hop would have gone a little bit further given the purveyors of it, given the black men who I just thought hip hop would be a little further along than it is in 50 some odd years. And it's interesting to see some of the elder statesmen, Jay, Nas, have created some great projects because hip hop and sports act like you pretty much don't matter past the age of 40. Sports even worse. Actually, it's like once you're 35, it's almost as if you don't exist. We don't care, right? Hip hop is pretty much 40-ish, and it's like, why are you still rapping? But
Three snakes, you gonna rap
Jay
it?
is still at it. Nas is still at it. MOP is still at it.
Them still at
50
it.
need, please 50, don't still be at it. I don't think we've got any 50 projects, thank goodness.
Benzino, please. What time? Stop.
Oh God, look,
Did did you see his news?
no, no, there's nothing in my algorithm that is going to bring me a
Oh,
Benzino.
it is because my algorithm got a lot of jokes on it. So you know the jokes. And then 50 made the jokes worse. So yeah, it's
Oh
50
God,
for a
no.
while. I see it.
No, there's nothing that's gonna bring Benzino, man. And you know how things get weird. I hope us talking about this don't change it because you talk about something, you go online and you see it. So I'm really hoping like whatever bots or whatever is
Oh, they
monitoring,
on you.
like
You
don't.
won't see it. He gonna be outside with no neck flexing, singing some YN stuff. The f-
Oh my
like, bro,
gosh, they're like
you got grandkids, dog. What you talking about some YN is? Like,
I don't know, and that's where like I said, that's where the hip hop fail is because of this marriage of algorithm and what's popular. The Mo Talam AC, the great Talam AC has a poem called "There's a Market for Niggas," and he pretty much addresses this. The more you act like the most ignorant person on earth, the more clicks, likes, and views you get. And we now live in a click, like, view society.
platform.
And
Exactly.
that again, that's my issue with hip hop in general. Like, can the ignorant stuff stop rising to the top?
The issue with the world at this point, but hey, not really. Drama sells.
And like I said, you gotta go find. At some point, it shifted over to where you gotta go find the good stuff. The good stuff is out there. You gotta go find it if you want to avoid the sexy reds and things that are like. You gotta intentionally avoid that. Like, don't click on it in your stories. You like nothing. You gotta click on and like the stuff that's of better substance. But yeah, happy birthday, hip hop. I expected you. You are 50 plus in calendar years, but from an exposure standpoint, way too many instances you're still like 22, 23. And that's the problem. I think it's penetrated the black community, the Latino community way too heavy to where hip hop still has staying power to where if you're not connected to hip hop, you're not cool. And sadly, cool still matters. Um, to some,
Most,
but to way too many. I'll put it that way. To way too many.
most,
Given our next topic, it matters way too. I see. I don't know about say most. Is
it's
uh,
most.
okay. So real quick, because why would you say most? Like, what are you basing this off of? What you see online? Because remember, what we see online is controlled. When you balance out what you see online and what your actual life is, the people you talk to, the people you have contact with, are you still saying most?
Are we talking about hip hop's prevalence? What are you talking about?
I'm talking about like the negative BS part of hip hop.
Oh, that's
The
most,
things
because that's mainstream. It's just starting to shift away from that, but that's only on the men's side. The women is the exact same, if not getting worse. Actually, it's probably getting worse. It's like you said, all the legends are crashing out. So now we really don't care. But yeah, um, you see people emulate it all over the world.
and I guess
Like you
that's where
said,
it
you just said hip hop is the number one genre, and just the culture of it. That's worldwide. It's most people. You said stuff that's cool. People still care about things that's cool. That's most people. Still care about things that's cool. That's how society works, unfortunately. So yeah, it's most people. You're rare and probably considered weird on the outside if you don't align with that or trying to chase what's cool. So yeah, that ain't changed. Not yet.
interesting because I keep leaning on, okay, I know what I see, but I also know what I see isn't by accident and is controlled. So the more ignorant the content, especially when it comes to us, the more they want to plaster that all over the place, right? And here in the United States, it is what it is. It's always somebody ignorant, and that's going to lead to our next topic. But it's always somebody ignorant or willing to do something ignorant and stupid between Real Housewives or whatever, Basketball Wives or whatever. The obvious contradiction: most of these chicks ain't married. But that's the wild part. There's Basketball Wives and Real Housewives, and you kind of got to be. I thought you had to be a wife to do that, but whatevs. I, and the big, just the childishness of it all. Loving hip hop, ain't no loves. Everybody beefing, throwing drinks. Come on.
Reality TV.
So let's wipe out America and then go overseas. I sent you Santan Dave, who is an amazing British rapper, but
On the goats.
and it just yeah, and it just seems like when you leave the U.S., funny how that works. You leave the U.S. and you see certain things, and it's an expanded view. It's a better version of
Not
in
really.
certain
They still
regards.
have drill and talk about crazy stuff over there.
Really,
Yeah, I've heard drill.
I haven't heard British drill, but again, that might be my algorithm because I don't listen to
You don't
anything
listen to
drill.
British
And
music. You're not over there. Of course you have. So yeah, it's the same. It's still hip hop over there. It's still talking about street-ish. You might be talking about shooting someone, fam. You might be talking about stabbing. So yeah, it's
which is wild because I listen to some of the stuff the British rappers and I'm like, dog, I ain't got no guns. Like, what are we?
that don't mean nothing. I mean, some probably still do. Hey, you can get guns anywhere in the world, but I don't know. Getting shanked just seems a lot worse.
I agree, but I
More
haven't now
personal.
see I didn't go to East London. Haven't been in London. It's different. It's different. The now again, I didn't go to East London. I went to the touristy spot.
Right,
I
that's
was
the
around, I
difference.
was around Big Ben,
That's
but
you ain't go to Haiti, you went to DR. Remember that. That's not even funny because that's how it really is.
right. But I'm just and you Trevor Noah said it. Trevor Noah said this. Travel is the antidote to ignorance. If you want to get out your bubble and kind of understand the world more, travel, go somewhere, right?
Right.
You
You
don't
gotta
realize how American you are, how much it is seeped in your soul until you get out this country, and I don't mean Canada. Canada, you'll kind of realize it. Canada, you'll kind of realize it. But when you get off this continent, when you go somewhere else, you realize how American you are and not necessarily in good ways. I say that to say this. I'm used to I'm used to black American hoods. I'm used to carrying around a certain amount of don't F with me. It's different in London. Cause like when you're walking through certain hoods in the US and how we've been conditioned,
you didn't go to no London hood. So how do you even know? You
the
better go the whole
okay,
tangent without even knowing.
well, let me clarify. No matter where I go here, the tension is there until it dissipates, until I'm in a space and I know, okay, everything's cool, right? You kind of looking for, in case something pop off, who might be a problem. That's growing up black and urban in this country. When I was in London, I'm in a crowded space, whole bunch of people, and I can promise you, I was not worried in the slightest, like not worried in the slightest bit. And it's a
In a
different
tourist
mood and a
spot.
different feel.
You're in a tourist spot. You weren't in the slums of London. So duh. I'm gonna feel great in Hawaii. Yeah. I'm gonna feel a little different being East Side Buffalo, West Side Baltimore. I'm gonna feel yeah, it's a little different. Of course. I'm in a touristy spot where it's by design to be good. Duh. Of course you're gonna feel safe. I
Because I
don't
mean,
know why you feel safe. That's a whole other subject. But hey,
because I will contrast it for you. When I first moved to Baltimore, I didn't feel like I could relax when I went to the Inner Harbor. That's no knock against Baltimore. That's an American thing. I didn't feel like I could just be like, oh, okay, it's cool,
because you
everything's sweet.
because you take the wrong turn, you end up in the wrong spot. That's why. But you're in a tourist spot just by design. I don't think you even touch nowhere near a slum in there. So
The
yeah,
Inner Harbor is the primary tourist spot in
and yet
Baltimore.
it is a small area because you make the wrong turn. It's not gonna be good for you. It might be a little better for you now because it's a lot safer now. But back then, it was Bodymore. That's the wire
Yeah.
tie. That's they weren't lying on that. So yeah, back then you
So,
make the wrong turn. Yeah, I don't even think people were really born in here anyway like that. But and if they were, yeah, you stayed in the harbor, then you went to the airport or wherever you how you got here. That was it. You did not go nowhere else in Baltimore City. I promise you. So yeah, it's
but
different.
that's what I'm saying. Like the tension of being black in America, being raised in low income situation, the tension is palpable and it doesn't go anywhere no matter where you go in this country, especially if you're black. You see what I'm saying?
You're black in
Like
London.
I could exactly. Now here's the funny part. And again, just the feel. I'm out by the London Eye, not far from Big Ben. I felt zero worry about anything. Like, oh, okay. I can let my like I felt like I could let my guard down and I did. And it was like, okay, ain't nothing popping off here. That tension you feel anywhere in this country as a black man, like, yo, something might pop off, be on the ready. I didn't have that in London. That's what I didn't have that in London at all.
You're on vacation. Like I'm sure the other black people here ain't don't got the same feeling you got. But hey, you're a tourist. They're not really gonna probably mess with you that much anyway. Unless you do something crazy, you probably would. But for the people that live in the actual slums and the black people there, we ain't gonna act like Europe ain't where racism started. So like, yeah.
You're right. You're you're right. You're
We
right.
are the best. They learn from, hey, we might have been worse. Like we took what they did and made it worse, but it
Yeah,
started there. So yeah,
yeah.
I don't think every
But
black person there is gonna agree. It's just like, yeah, I feel completely safe and I let my guard down. And because I'm black, I could be free. And like, nah, I think the black person to be free is either
I mean,
heaven
I
or
put it to
dead.
you like this. I felt a lot better in London than I think if I took somebody from London and dropped them in Brownsville, old Brownsville, not gentrified new Brownsville, old Brownsville. So I think that's what I'm trying to make. Like growing up American Black Hood has conditioned me to certain things, right? And I didn't even grow up in the worst hood. Like I can't say I bore witness to a whole bunch of violence, but I was only 2 or 3 degrees away from it. Now, if you grow up somewhere again, crack era in the 80s, that's a different animal. So if I took somebody, from that and dropped them in East London, I think they'd be okay. Just so I'm saying, they'd be okay.
Yeah, with a blade, Nick. Like, I don't know why we comparing like poverty
I'm
place to poverty place. Like, dog, they get
right.
down in London. Like, it just recently, this actually happened. One of Drake's peoples, whatever his name was, Tava, whoever, was talking that ish while over there. And
Oh,
what happened to Atlantic? Ching, ching, ching.
oh yeah, you got. I
Yeah,
think I heard about somebody getting poked. Yeah,
like
that wasn't.
the accent don't make them sweet, dog. Like
No, not
Mike
at all.
Tyson sounds sweet until you actually see him. So yeah, like don't let the accent
You're right.
fool you.
You're right. You're right. You're right. But
It's more dangerous because you get stabbed. That's more personal. Like I really want you gone. So yeah,
it's
that's a different mindset. It's easy to pull
Joe
the trigger.
Joker moment. You know why I use a knife?
They all jokers.
Okay. So we didn't take a detour all the way to London and back. Coming back across the pond. Yeah. So I made a phone call today because I had to. I got a homeboy that I've known literally since 1989 that lives outside DC. And I was like, what in the entire WTF is going on? Because I'm not there. News reports are news reports. Your boots on the ground. What's going on? So as he told me, yeah, old Donnie boy is selling wolf tickets, talking about it ain't safe. It's crime. It's blah, blah, blah. So we're going to deploy the National Guard in the nation's capital.
Mhm.
Here's the problem. Crime is down. Statistically, crime is down.
It is.
The next door neighbor to DC, Baltimore,
Crime is good.
shout out to Brandon Scott, crime is markedly down. Murders down. Violent crime down.
Yeah.
I think I read a stat that said they haven't had this few murders since damn near when I was born in the late 70s.
Yeah.
But somehow the old man in the White House is trying to sell everyone on crime, crime, crime everywhere. You would think his folks getting shanked and blasted in the streets.
Yeah. That mega take.
You call in the National Guard. Ain't no riot. Thankfully, ain't no law enforcement murdered no black folk lately, so we ain't got to do nothing like we did back with George Floyd. Crime is down, my guy. What are you really doing? Oh,
Mm-hmm.
that's what you're really doing.
Yes, sir.
And because most people are either, and you know what? And I got to realize it's not that people are stupid.
Yeah.
It's not that people are stupid.
Mm.
People are busy. And I know that sounds like what? No, no, no. People are busy, and it's by design. Most people are about 3 checks away from being evicted.
All right, one. One, yeah.
Mo-
Oh,
mo-
listen.
Most people, and we talking people with good jobs.
Yeah. It's a good job now.
Because see, that's the other thing. And I gotta quote you. when you start looking at how diabolically genius this is, because we've been taught consume, 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 buy this thing. So even if you got a quote unquote good job, and remember the magic number is six figures, depending on what city you're in, do you know how little 100,000 can get you?
That's
When when you get the house to look like you doing it, when you get the car to look like you doing it, and you gotta have the clothes, because you definitely can't pull out a Mercedes, step out of a Mercedes in Target clothing. So you gotta get the clothes now to look like you doing it. So when you look at all of those things,
kids. Mhm.
if you got kids, the kids gotta look like they doing it. You can't be in Jordans, and your kid not be in Jordans. So I gotta buy Jordans for the kid. You see what I'm saying? So all of it is consumption, 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 which means you are dependent upon the system you are plugged into,
Yeah.
which means you two paychecks away, to a pink slip in about a month and a half away from losing all of it. So you
Mhm.
busy. You busy. You
Sure.
don't have time to worry about the fact that National Guardsmen are being called to the nation's capital for crime that don't exist.
Mm. No, no, you're lying. There's a crime that exists. You know the crime that exists there that they try to get rid of and they're criminalizing homeless people. Because what did
Oh, no,
because
oh,
because what did we well, like I said, I haven't been to the nation's capital a little bit, but the last time we went, what did we see a whole lot of?
homelessness.
Yeah, and that's on the White House front door.
I didn't. So at the time, the only place I'd lived was Buffalo. And then I moved down there, of course. I had not seen homelessness on that level. Like,
It's worse now.
like what got me was it's the acceptance. And what I mean by the acceptance, when I was back home in Buffalo, you know, homeless folk, it wasn't they you could kind of feel the shame connected to it, and they really weren't out in the open, so to speak. Now again, we talking late 90s, something like that, right? What got me was when I got to DC and went to DC, it was cats just sleeping on the ground, like, this is what it is. That's what threw me. We talking 02, 03-ish, and it's like just on the ground. Like you got to step over them. It's that level of, eh, this is what it is. That's what blew my mind. And you are absolutely correct. It's the con is beautiful, dog. The con is beautiful. So you don't want to slip into being lower class because that means you were this close away to being evicted or homeless. From what my homeboy told me, the cost of living in DC is now insane.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
The cost of living, like again, and we've talked about it briefly on the show. The number used to be 1,000.
It's not.
If you want to not live in certain conditions, rent was going to be at least 1,000. I think that number today is a lot closer to like 16, 1700 a month.
Well, it depends on what you get. If you get more than one bedroom, it's two something. So
Oh
yeah,
yeah, see, I was just looking at, hey, I just need a one bedroom.
just depending on where you at. One bedrooms will still run you closer to. Like this studio freaking apartments. No one is probably damn near 15, 13, 1200, which is crazy.
It is, and it's like, and then and when I look at the entire pie, it makes these gender, and it seems like I'm out of pocket, but let me show you how I connect it. It makes these gender war conversations even more stupid because
Oh,
there has never been a time where we need to work together, we need each other. So, so I'm not paying 17, $1,800 a month by myself and struggling to get by. We
yeah.
need each other.
Yeah. Like I said, that argument worked back then when, everything was 10 cents and like, yeah, well, one dad can provide a whole family and buy a whole house with like, what, a couple 100,000, if that, 50,000? You can't do that. Like, if you took the equivalent of their cost of living then to now, you know how much money we'll have to make just to average that out? to be able to
Right.
afford to have pretty much one breadwinner for a whole family. That
Right.
doesn't happen anymore unless you're rich. And that's a
And
small
we
percentage of people. So yeah, this ain't the
and
time for this. Oh, I need you to pay. No. If you want money,
right,
just be a prostitute and just live your truth. But other than that,
right.
relationships, you gotta work together.
I ain't saying quote unquote settle. I'm saying look at the larger picture. Like, listen, mama, and this is another problem, especially, and this is a black issue. We now have 300,000 sisters that have lost their job based on DEI and BS. We ain't got the time to be arguing over nonsense. Oh, he ain't 6 foot tall. Fam, 5'9" is close enough. Like seriously, 3 inches is this much. If you and I'm not saying anybody should lower quote unquote their standards, but you got to start looking at the bigger picture. If the brother is good for you, good with you, and y'all can work together, is that 3 inches really worth it?
Mhm.
The 3 inch really worth it? The 3 inch really worth it? Now,
Uh,
on the flip, fellas, stop asking goofy shit about body counts and be submissive and we gotta work together. We don't got time for this petty bickering and nonsense. We gotta work together because again, I stand by we our own answer. I heard a statistic that almost broke my heart earlier. The founder of Actively Black, black owned activewear line, basically think Lululemon but black, right? Great quality stuff, quite honestly. Like great quality stuff. And I think it mentioned black people in this country spend 40 billion on shoes and apparel. Billion with a B.
Sounds about right.
So as I've said and as you said, we are collectively rich, individually poor. Where I'm
Mhm.
going is we are our own answer.
See,
We we just need to work together.
we saw this already. Like I said, I always name at this civil rights era because that was the most recent time we saw what unity can do. Until it got thwarted, but hey, we could try again. Be more prepared this time. But hey, yeah, other than that relationship stuff, I don't really care. You know what? Do what you want to do. Just stop spreading to other people. So if you look wherever your preference is, do it in silence. We do not care. Live your truth. There you go.
Like I said,
I do not care.
it's gonna be real tragic if certain things reach certain levels. Cause I'm like, it's like sitting in a jail cell and the key to the cell is in the mattress. And all you gotta figure out is how to rip the mattress open. All of us sitting here in the holding tank. All we gotta do is rip this damn mattress open and we could all get out. 40 billion in clothes and a pair clothes and shoes. And we can't figure out
Hip hop.
collectively in our neighborhoods.
That actually ties directly to hip hop. But yeah. Uh Shout out to Run DMC and all the Big Daddy Kane. But yeah, fashion.
Yeah, yeah. It's just wild to see, man. But yeah, there are National Guardsmen and checkpoints in DC. And
What's happening?
I
What's happening
just
with these people? Because you got barricades, now you got the National Guard there. What you about to do?
and that's the concern. And again, we I gotta circle back. I keep seeing well, this distraction from the Epstein files. Epstein, dog,
No, this
I'm not saying this to be heartless at all, because abuse against women is freaking horrible, obviously.
I mean kids.
If here's my question to anybody still screaming about the Epstein files. I'm not being dismissive. I'm really just asking a question.
Oh boy.
If a videotape came R. Kelly style came out tomorrow, what does that do?
I guess
What
evidence.
What does that do for you? See, we don't. Okay, cool. Does it get the people out of alligator Alcatraz?
No,
What does that do? I don't give a shit about the Epstein files. Quite frankly, we know dude is a pedo. We know this already.
I do care because
And
he ain't the
y'all
only one.
elected him. Y'all elected him.
Well, they don't believe. Well, they don't believe he's on it. So
I'm
that's
just,
why I
can
do
we
at
move
least.
on?
So we could just get everybody that was involved the fuck out of here. There we go. Other than that, yeah, I don't.
Like, fam, you should have knew something was up when somehow you can commit suicide on suicide watch. How, how that happen?
I mean, that's why you on suicide watch.
In every camera mysteriously either didn't work or didn't point to that side. How
Forgot to change the battery. Mm-mm. Don't you hate that? I'm expecting to hear a beep real soon, and but hey, it is
oh
what
my
it is.
God.
Hey,
Oh my
every other camera worked though. It's just that one. It was a glitch, man. That's all. Hey, technology.
God. Right. So if we release the Epstein files tomorrow, and it is some R. Kelly like ish on there, and old Donnie Boy is
Worse than that.
taking a whiz on some poor 15-year-old. That's epically tragic. We know that. How does this change anything? That's the question of
I
questions.
mean, there's two things that can happen. Like for one, it's going to see the tapes of all the elite and celebrities and blah 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 doing the dirt, and there's no way to deny it. And so there's going to be riots everywhere. Or what I think most likely will happen, nothing will really change.
Right, like what you gonna do? Cause you
He's already in office.
right, and it's
Most
pretty
people with
much
advice on this in office, all your favorite celebrities, you're probably just going to deny it, like the stands, and say, "Oh, that wasn't them, was AI." See, like I can already see it's going to be a division on what's real, what's not. So y'all already sick in the mother. Well, we all are really, but y'all are special type of sick. So yeah, I don't believe anything real is going to happen. It's going to be some hashtags, maybe a few riots here and there, and we back to business.
because the question, okay, so serious question at this juncture, the sycophants and the supporters aside, MAGA aside, because the level of delusion there is epic and should be studied. For those of us who don't agree with this, at this point, what 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 can we do? Like what it would again, worst case scenario, it comes out and everything is what we think it is. Now what? I don't. And honestly, and this is a sad thing, and this isn't for everybody, but this is a sad thing. So we are at the point where unless we see this dude essaying a child, we pretty much anything else, anything goes. That's
Uh,
that's that's where we're at.
Pretty much. I mean, we're watching multiple genocides happen, nothing's being done. So it's like, yeah, all the people saying we lived during, the Nazis' time, or we would have stopped this. Well, we're not stopping it now. So yeah, that's a lie. Uh,
But it's I see and that
um,
careful there. That's a slippery slope. That's a slippery
no, it's
slope.
not.
Finish your point.
It's not. We see what's happening in multiple places, not just Israel. It's Congo, and there's a whole lot of places in 4K, but we're still doing nothing. Just hashtags.
So I'm gonna
But
ask you a question. When I'm gonna finish your point, I'm gonna ask you a question. What can we do? But finish your point.
I mean, what can you do? It's power of the people, right? This is the same. I'm just saying, these are the same people that be like, yo, certain things wouldn't fly if I was around and la la la.
Oh,
And history is literally repeating itself. Crickets. Oh, that's a tragedy. That's sad. Damn. Hashtag. But yeah, I don't remember where I was going there. Either way, yeah.
because to me it goes back to what I touched on and what you said. this system is so diabolically genius. A lot of people just, and I've got to give more people grace. A lot of people just don't have the bandwidth. You two checks away from being homeless. I'm not saying people don't care about the Congo. I'm not saying people don't care about Palestine and everything else that's going on. But because we don't have the necessary unity, like it's a risk going out and protesting. They're trying to make it illegal to protest.
I know,
I
hey,
know for a fact me and you would go out there and hit these streets if we could. But the reality is, look, it's a penalty involved. And now the penalty is you can be pretty much abducted and not heard from again.
yeah, but I didn't say it. I agree with everything you're saying. The solution is we would have to all be together because then the numbers game, it's over, is over. Because if everyone's outside, what you gonna do? Unless you want to open fire on a crowd. If everyone in every city is out there, like, what's up? There ain't nothing the government can do about that.
I
So,
agree.
so
I
that is
agree.
the only way to stop it. And then you did, if that's the case, take back and get real people in office and leadership, and then we pretty much sever ties with that, and we could pretty much end that too. Because U.S. could end that if they wanted to. Let's be real. They're not going
I,
to, but they could end that if they've ended a lot of overseas all the time in the Middle East. That's no different. Israel's no different, but they're not going to because we all know why. But yeah, this could be stopped. All that can be stopped. Hell, stuff in
I'm,
here can be stopped. I get it. Everyone's distracted and all that. But if we truly just said, all right, we're tired of being sick and tired, everybody just said, we just all gonna stop. We gonna breathe. And while we breathe, everyone, all the elites and all that are gonna panic. Because when we breathe, that means they stop making money. And then all this falls. I just think everybody just needs to take a break at the same time.
I
Watch what
think
happens.
um I think the inherent issue here is also like the like I said, it's the lack of organization and the fear involved, and that is palpable and that is real.
That's by design.
Um,
But you gotta like
oh, absolutely,
gotta break
absolutely.
it. That means no one says it's gonna be easy, but it will be real easy if everyone's on the same page. I promise you. Easy as hell.
I mean, this is the weird thing about it. I don't think the quote unquote resistance needs to be a physical one per se, but we're fast approaching that. And here's what I mean. Anonymous, if you're out there, I I don't know what else you guys could expose. Like again, let's take it back to the big thing, the big thing going on. Anonymous could expose the Epstein files tomorrow. Problem is, why does it change? We're
Nothing.
at the point now where we're at the point, sadly, I think, where now the resistance has to be physical because there is no intellectual, there's no expose, there's nothing that there's nothing that can be shown that's gonna fire folks up more than they should already be fired up. Like unless they literally actually take it back, take it back. The only thing that could possibly get people fired up enough to take it to the streets, the Nazis had what was called the final solution. We all know what the final solution was, right? Unless they can show old Donny Boy and company has a legit final solution, I don't know. That's about the only thing I can think of is going to take.
By that point, it's too late. So, like I said, honestly, I think people just giving up, just like you said, and I agree 100%. They're just tired and focused on. It's a lot going on. You're in survival mode. When you're in survival mode, you get hyper focused on surviving. You're not really worried about the outside noise, which I understand completely. But you work together, chance we won't be in survival mode.
True.
So we all know this BS and it's by design for you to be in survival so we can just do stuff in okey doke ways. Hell, they're not even doing okey doke. They just don't walk around in front of you doing it. But you're so distracted that they punch you in your face, you just think your face is itch. Like you got disease or something, not knowing they just punch you in your face and they right in front of you. So yeah, diabolically genius.
So
But
this
all
is
proof.
something I didn't realize. I didn't dive into it because And again, victim. I didn't have the bandwidth or time. Um, somebody licked off shots at the CDC, 180 of them with a long gun. This is coming right from the AP. It's coming right from the AP. And I didn't know this had this bend to it. So I gotta phrase this gently. This is extreme action. This is extreme action. So, bro essentially said he was stopped by guards for driving to the pharmacy cross street and opening fire. And dude apparently unalived himself. But he's saying, "Jeez, yeah, he went off. He's a former Marine, served in Afghanistan.
Mm,
If you are in the military, you have no choice on what you're vaccinated with or what you're injected with.
mm-hmm. Give away your freedom, basically. Fighting for freedom. That's funny. Oh, yeah. Irony.
Um, so bro essentially had a serious issue with the jab. I just okay, this is where it gets interesting. So, bro has an issue with the jab, saying it causes depression. The actual head of Health and Human Services, or RFK Jr., has said some very interesting things about vaccinations in general. There's long been, I think it was, and I'd have to go dig a little bit, but I do remember Jim Carrey and his wife getting it. I believe it was his wife being the first people that I can remember ringing the alarm about the possibility of certain vaccinations causing autism. So here's some numbers, just numbers. The incidence of autism have gone through the roof in the last 20 years.
Mm.
Now, I don't know. I can't say I don't have the expertise to be like, yo, stop taking vaccinations. I'm not officially saying that at all. I'm just saying something's up. If just throwing out a random number, if 10% of children had autism in 2000 and nothing's changed, but everybody's still getting their vaccinations, da 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 da. And now in 2025, that number's risen to 15%. It RFK is right. We gotta start asking questions at that point. We gotta start asking questions
Now we start.
because it's not like autism is contagious. I can't give you the autism.
I don't know. It's kind of spreading.
Like stupid is contagious, as we can see. Stupid appears to be very contagious. That's a disease you can't get rid of and seems to transmit easily. But no, autism is not contagious, not even a little bit. And if we're giving if this country is vaccinating everybody, you got to start asking some questions. To that end, RFK Jr. has a point. Why are our autism rates going through the roof? Why is our food supply trash? You start asking questions. That's
So it's a combination of all that. Vaccinations, the food, well, the American stuff is just trash compared to the rest of the world. That is a fact. The food and all that is trash compared to the rest of the world. Just loaded with chemicals and sugar and all that stuff, and all the unhealthy stuff that clearly affects your body and your brain. Not just getting fat. Like I legit think all the stuff that we consume literally affects our brain too.
yeah. So this is interesting. So apparently the shooter was fixated on the COVID-19 vaccine and the death of his dog. I don't know how these two things correlate.
It's depressing.
I just, as someone who has lost their beloved pet, at no point did I sink to the point where, you know what? This damn COVID vaccine. So, and I'm not making fun of it. I'm just like, that's
That's
a hell
you.
of a
That's you, and
that's a hell of a jump.
you also didn't serve in the military, so you don't know what type of depression is going to pull out that PTSD and all the other type of issues he might have. So yeah, some people just need one really bad day. Joker voice. Guessing he had a really bad day, and it consumed him.
So this is what I was looking for, the smoking gun, no pun intended. So essentially, he had voiced feelings of unaliving himself a while back. Um, his dad did the right thing and told police that he blamed the jab for making him depressed and having thoughts of wanting to unalive himself. Interesting. That, like, again, I don't know. Well, I guess that's what he's saying is going on in his head. But I'm like, okay, that seems like a stretch. But again, I can't speak to it with a certain amount of expertise because I did not get the jab. Um, of everything I have seen, I haven't seen anything that suggests the jab has made anyone depressed or have ideals of unaliving themselves. But I didn't get it, so I don't know. But that would definitely be something that would definitely be something that they want to cover up. That's what I'm saying. That would definitely be something they want to cover up. Because yeah, if and the reality of the situation is, look, we may never know to what degree 9/11, which we'll be talking about in a moment, 9/11 was an inside job, and we may never know. I'll stand on this. I don't think we'll ever truly know the effects of the jab, primarily because I don't think we'll live long enough. And I don't mean that it's going to cause it. I'm just saying I believe it's going to take a good generation or three before someone can say, you know what,
No, it's not.
we saved millions of lives, but there might have been a few lost along the way.
We can do that now. I completely disagree with that. This stuff coming out now that is clogging arteries and people getting heart attacks and stuff. Like that's already happening. We don't got to work
Okay.
generations for that. We're seeing that
Okay.
right
So
now.
here's the thing. Here's where this gets really interesting, right? And just being as impartial as possible. COVID, for all that we knew, had a 2% fatality rate, give or take, 2%, if I'm
Yep,
not mistaken,
yep, that
right?
right.
The thing is, what if the jab prevented more death than it caused, then it's still a win. And that's not me minimizing anyone who lost someone. Absolutely not. I'm just saying, look, if complications from this is the reason why 10,000 people got hurt, lost their lives, but 10 million lives were saved.
That man won't die. That's the issue. Like, uh,
Because of the present,
I don't think that was a good trade-off, in my opinion. But and I'm damn
well,
sure they're going to tell someone who lost someone that was a good trade-off. Because I'm
no,
sure.
no, no, because I'm like, dog, if officially, according to the numbers, it's a smashing success.
Is
When
it?
you look at the amount of people who got it versus the amount of people who lost their lives to COVID, it was a win. It was a win.
Like I
It was a
said,
win.
how many died with the jab, many didn't? Because now we got to believe the numbers. So yeah,
Way more
um,
didn't. Wait.
um,
Again, you look at the amount of people who got it, and it was somewhere. It's north of, I think, 200 million. You know what? And that's the beauty of computers. Let me check real quick. But
it ain't that deep
the
because
amount of people who
but
did
okay.
now. So let's see.
Sounds like you have a higher chance of dying from a car crash than dying from COVID.
70% of the population. So as of May 10th this year, we're talking 230,637,000 people.
A lot of people.
That is 70% of the population. So
Ooh,
one can conclude If 230 million, okay, so real quick, let's real quick math.
Mm.
Just from WH, just from the World Health Organization, which you know is interesting in and of itself. Wow. Um, I ain't gonna lie to you, sir. It's a hard thing for you to argue. In just the US, 230 million people got the jab. Worldwide, worldwide, 846 deaths. That's it. I'm not saying that's to be brushed off. I'm just saying, look, numerically speaking, and in the well, now this is interesting. Out of the 846 deaths, 607 of them were here, but 230 million vaccinated, 607 deaths.
How many
Dog,
were vaccinated?
that's less than 1/10. Like it's not even
How
close.
many were vaccinated that died?
That's a good question. I don't know if I can
That's the
find that
number
out.
that's more important because if it's close, then at that point, it doesn't really matter.
Well, I mean, here's the thing: 230 million, and you only lost 846. Even if all 846
It
were
was
vaccinated,
it was a low mortality rate. We acted like we survived the bubonic plague again. It wasn't that. Souped up freaking it was so souped up. We was going up against the Decepticons, brother. So like, no, it's a glorified devastator of a flu. It's the flu and they had devastator. Like they just came together. There you go. Except they
okay.
dies, but it didn't really do anything. Just like the Transformers movie. They came together and died quickly. So yeah, it doesn't matter.
I mean, I'm just saying if I looked it up and saw all 846 of them and the funny thing is it works against you because if all 846 of these weren't vaccinated, it actually proves the point.
No, it doesn't. Because how
But if
many
all
people died from heart attacks
830,
after the vaccine? Let's look that number up.
how do you know? And that's where it's going to get
See,
dicey. You
that
can't
you look at the rate that
you
they
can't
died
prove
now
correlations. You
versus
can't.
before. You gotta compare. Did the heart attacks go up after this? Did the blood clots go up like higher percentage after this? Because if it did, then that's the common denominator. If we're gonna do the whole picture, but
I
yeah,
mean, I, I didn't think I'll leave anything out. Like, look, if if I vaccinate 230 million people and only lost 800. Okay, let's do it. Let's do it in a simple way.
people were still getting
If I
caught.
gave you $230 million and said, by the way, I'm stealing 800 bucks from you.
We're both unvaccinated and still breathing. So I'm just gonna kill your logic right there. You didn't even care and believe in it. So so it's like it was really unnecessary, but hey, whatever. If you took it, you took it. I hope it nothing wrong. I hope nothing pops up for you. I hope you don't get a heart attack or that weird veiny thing that clogs your veins. So
Yeah,
yeah.
I'm just saying from a number standpoint, you don't want to lose a one. We understand that completely. And sincere condolences to the 800 and the families of the 847. Excuse me, 600 and change. 800 and change is actually, and that's where we see more interesting. That 800 number is worldwide. It's only 600 in the US, which is weird in and of itself. Which is weird. Like
So we're the
out
most
of eight,
vaccinated, most people die.
which
Huh.
again, weird, but
That-
200 million and only 600 gone. That if I'm a virologist, if I work at the CDC, if I work in that field, that's a smashing success. That's less than one tenth of a percent. 200 million. Like, yeah, put it in money terms. If I put 200 million in your account and just snuck away 800, $600, you're not going to notice. I'm not minimizing people's loss. What I'm just saying is to illustrate numerically on paper, it's a smashing success. Circling back to where we started with this
Necessary.
gentleman in Atlanta, like you talking about it caused depression and blah, 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 blah.
You know, there was page lengths of freaking possible side effects from that. So I'm sure it was on that list. I remember it. It was a lot of stuff that they didn't tell you that they finally had to. This is why Fossey and all that is going missing and why they in trouble. But yeah, there's a lot
But
of
that's
stuff happening. Not even just people dropping dead from it, just other health complications that they didn't have.
but you're alive.
All right, if I'm alive and
That's
say you are,
I gotta sit on this side of it. I'm just trying to be
but you're
objective as
alive.
possible. Like,
All
you're
right,
alive.
so let you have an extreme disability because of it, but you're alive though. Let's keep it funky. Hopefully, like I said, not gonna wood, and it didn't happen. You know, you had your situation. It could, if numbers wise, was supposed to be bad if you even if you survive.
Oh yeah, yeah, true,
Would you really
absolutely
want
true.
to be? Is it really living as a vegetable? Is that really living? Do you really want to be
No,
alive?
no, no, that's
Okay,
not.
it's like if
But
or if you're
that's
extremely uh disabled, do you really want to live? Like I said, if I
I
get to
don't
a
know.
point I'm staying stable, pull something or just put me on my please. I beg you. I
You
told
stupid.
my mom. I told yes. There's no point. But yeah. So nah. Yeah. At least you're alive. Yeah, but I have all these other problems I didn't have.
I mean, if your quality of life is crappy, I get it. I'm just
And money.
from a virologist standpoint, fam. If I s- if 647 people unfortunately are gone, but I saved 200 million.
It didn't save nobody.
Eh,
We're the most vaccinated. This is how your whole numbers work against you. We're the most vaccinated country by far, probably, right? And yet the most people died here. Make that make sense. Everywhere else,
It's
people were
easy.
good.
Well, easy. You make sense easily because be one thing begats the other. You just said it. Because the bulk of the vaccines were in one place, then the bulk of the side effects are also gonna be in one place.
So you
Like,
put so most of the other countries didn't even bother with the issue and were fine. But here, we're the most vaccinated and most people died here. That doesn't have a correlation to you? Is it not clicking? What is that should prove my point, actually. Like everyone else, because yeah, their food is healthier, their people are healthier. But here, with the vaccine that we don't know all the other ingredients that we probably can't even spell and pronounce in that jab, and then all the other ingredients that we put in eat and all that other ish, it was a bad combination. So it was
I mean,
unnecessary. It
I
didn't
think
save no one.
I mean, I'll put it to you like that. Like I said, I'll circle back to what I said. We all may no longer be here when we finally figure out what was in it, what the actual side effects were.
We see.
Like, look, it's the
There's one.
look,
We're right here.
it's like, hey, there's a flood and there's a wall about to break. Well, I mean, what we got to patch it up with? Dynamite. It ain't the best, but we got to try something. And the if it's not obvious where I'm going, what I'm saying is, it appears that the world, because it wasn't just the U.S., the world was like, look, this thing is bad. It could cost way more lives. We got to think of something. They thought of something. And my own personal and your own personal thought of it aside, it would appear numerically thousands, maybe millions of lives were saved. I understand there's a huge contingent of people that don't accept that. Totally get it. I understand. I took a calculated risk. So did you.
Not really.
But
Not sure. We'll play along with that. But
we took a
that's it.
calculated we took a calculated risk not to do it.
No, we didn't. Like I
Because
said,
if
the rest of the world wasn't really with the ish and they were fine. That, like I said, the number, what you just said, killed everything you just said. All your arguments. Here was the problem. Everywhere else where they were less all that, it was no issue at all. Hell, where it came from was less deaths. Can you even think about that?
I didn't. Touche.
So
I
you
did.
would think
I
where it
didn't.
started, it would be the worst, right? How did it get so? How did it start in one country, come all the way over here and get worse here? That don't even make sense. But yet we're the most vaccinated, right?
I
That's
don't. You know what? I don't know. I'd have to check. I'd have to check China's numbers. I don't know.
just
I'm just.
said
I
globally.
presume
Globally, it was 600 deaths, right?
globally was yeah. Globally was no. Globally was 800. 600 of which were globally is like 847, and like 620 of it was here.
So a big percentage of the deaths came here,
So eight. You can say about eight. Just round numbers. You can say about 80% was here.
and not in China where it came from.
Nope.
So does that make any sense to you? Logically, that the origin of where it came had the least amount of deaths out of everyone. Well, maybe not everyone, but way less than the other country.
I'd have to, and that goes back to like you said. I'd have to see the numbers, like how many Chinese got vaccinated? How many Chinese got vaccinated? So that's where the only way you can really
It started there. I mean,
compare.
even but the vaccination took a while, right? It took months, almost a year, or a little amount of a year. So that whole time, where it started, before they even had a vaccine,
Mm-hmm.
no one passed. I'm not gonna say no one, but very small percentage.
Right.
So that's why I'm leaning towards it was unnecessary because where it came from.
Like I said, it was you and I took a calculated risk and it paid off, thankfully.
I'm putting me
You
in that.
know,
I wasn't the risk of it. That was easy. It was risk for you, but not me. It wasn't a risk.
I say it was a calculated risk because it at the height of all of the craziness that was going on, it was just a matter of okay, what are you gonna believe? Out of all the information we're being told, what are you ultimately it's a choice of what do you want to believe. Even now, like I make it like religion. I've literally heard people say, listen, I may or may not believe the Bible, but what if I don't and I'm wrong? What if I die and everything in the Bible was right? Now I'm going to hell. So, as a precautionary measure, let me make sure I don't go to
Yeah,
hell.
but the
Let
numbers
me do the
game,
things I need to do to make sure if I'm wrong on this, I don't go to hell.
uh,
Same concept here.
no, it's not.
Listen, explain how not.
Because there are hundreds of other religions. So numbers wise, percentage wise, it is a very small percentage that they will be right. So you're putting all your bets on a very small percentage. So then you could be in all the other hells. Then what? That's not the same. So
Touche.
yeah, it's not
Touche.
like people. I understand the big three and all that, but there's hundreds of other religions.
Touche.
We do not know
Because
who's
I'm
right.
like, I don't really have a counter, but that's kind of the same ideal. Like, okay, I feel this way, I feel this way about it, but the end result is if I'm wrong, I might die. Let me go ahead and get this jab. I get it. I just couldn't make that choice. I get the logic behind it. I couldn't make that choice.
Once I seen how fast they did it, and then numbers wise, 1% of the population was dying. It didn't want to risk it
I mean,
anymore.
like I said, that's very true, and I get it. Unless you that 2%, my guy.
Okay.
like I get it, but if you that 2%, you gonna wish you'd have made a different choice. And here's the thing: I know people like that. I've heard of cases, not just some random shit, but I've know people who have family members who decided to make the same choice we did. Now I'm cool, and they ended up on the wrong end of that 2%. So I understand.
It can happen. Hey, at the end of the day, you're gonna make your own choice. I'm just saying personally, for me, it was not a risk. Me speaking for
No,
me,
I
it wasn't
didn't.
no risk. It wasn't calculated. It was like I'm good.
I want no. I'm not going to BS you. It was definitely a consideration for me because I'm like the bigger picture is look. If you guess wrong,
Dog,
Was it
I
working?
was in close proximity with multiple people and hell even lived with someone who had COVID. Not a single worry in my bone. Not a
Okay. Well, I mean,
single one.
that's good for you because I definitely weighed it out because I'm like, dog, if this go left, then what?
Maybe, like I
And
said, maybe because I see someone with it and watching it, looking at them,
as did
it
I.
wasn't a
As did,
big deal. It wasn't a big deal. It was almost like a common cold for real. If that.
fam, Kamisha had it twice. So believe me, I get it
Man,
twice.
yeah. Actually, a few people I know had it multiple times. And ironically,
Oh
vaccinated.
wow.
Well, some of them are.
Oh wow.
So yeah, like
Okay.
the worst thing
That's
I
what I'm
got
saying.
was the actual flu. I was more worried about that. I thought that was gonna take me in.
Yeah. See, like I said, and we didn't went way left, but bro decided that he was depressed based on the results of that jab, and I can't say yay or nay. And I said, like I said, I don't know if we'll actually know all the quote unquote side effects for the next generation or two. We do know there are some things that apparently have gone left, but I'm looking at it from a sheer number standpoint. If you accept the numerical data, the results are very simple. In the US, there have been 270 million instances of vaccination. And as of this month, only 674, only 600 and change perished. It's a hell of a, and that is not me minimizing the loss. That is me saying, like I said, the terms that everyone understands money. If I gave you $270 million and I stole 600 from you, you wouldn't notice. You wouldn't be like, dang it, like that's so by numbers, it was a smashing success.
Yeah,
Now, if in 5 years something funny starts happening and folks start, some interesting side effects come up, and the common denominator is everybody at the jab. Now we're having some different conversations.
I'm sorry. Like I hear you. It sounds good, but it's completely wrong because the rest of the world weren't with the ish and we're fine. The starting point of the mission was a success with no help, no cheat codes. Like, nah, you can't convince me that we had the most deaths and the most vaccinated. And where it came from, it was good. Like less deaths than us. The rest of the world had way, way less deaths than us, and probably
Yeah,
nowhere near as vaccinated. So it's like, dog, okay,
it's a
you gave me the flu shot, dog, with probably a lot more side effects. Thank you.
hmm, okay. And our last topic for today, and it's interesting, came across, and I sent it to you. I forgot exactly who said
Oh,
it,
so
but it
here we go.
said,
I know it. Damn, we forgot to use code words. It's over.
I mean, at this point, we'll see. We got bigger fish to fry. We'll see what happens. What I've noticed is even if we get got, it doesn't happen instantly. So as soon as this comes out, I'm sending it to everybody. You can get it. But I think we moved on to bigger issues now. But and not to mention, we spoke favorably. We didn't have any medical misinformation. We gave real info.
We did it the
So
first time, but hey, whatever.
no, because we talked down. That was the problem.
No,
It was misinformation because we talked bad about it.
not really, because we once we started using code words and saying the same stuff, nothing happened.
All right, so we'll see how long this lasts. We'll see how long this lasts. Um, Last topic goes into something I saw and I sent it to you. I forgot who said it, but it was the contention was Katrina was much worse than 9/11. And the point they tried to make is because of the delayed response, because of the attitude of the government, you know, Katrina ended up being much worse than 9/11. I am going to staunchly say, no, that's not even. This falls under the conspiracy theory ideal. Absolutely, positively not. Just on sheer number, 3,000 deaths in a day. I think the official count of Katrina deaths are half that, give or take. I'll double check. Um,
I mean, we're lost and missing. You add all
and
that
then it's
together.
like you can't. you can't compare. I think the base of what they're saying is the government response. You can't compare the government response. Like
Oh yeah,
one
yeah.
thing happened immediately. You can't get more of an immediate response. Like that happened instantly, and it's a tower, two towers falling down in the most populous city in the country. You can't compare that to Katrina and the response there. Can't compare those
Oh,
two things.
I agree. You can't compare because one was planned, the other wasn't.
There you go.
I mean, duh. They were making sure that that was the point.
I
Not funny.
mean,
Recipes, all those people, but yeah, the government was like, yeah, they had a hand in that. Granted, they probably had a hand in Katrina too, from what I've heard. So,
from from folks that live there, there's more than one person that has said they've heard explosions, and the thought process was the Army Corps of Engineers actually blew those levees and allowed flooding into the city. Ironically, the poorer parts of the city,
like
which
Hawaii.
essentially triggered
Mm,
gentrification on steroids, right?
mm,
Um, but just the sheer numbers, the number of deaths in now, I will say this: if you said Katrina had racial motivations, oh, you wouldn't be completely wrong in that.
you'd be right.
You wouldn't be completely wrong in that.
You'd be right. You'd be 100% right. But I mean, they both had one common denominator. So at this point, doesn't really matter which one was worse. They were both really bad times in history.
Yeah, it's just the notion of making the government complicit. It still leaves a nasty taste in the mouth.
That is
Still leaves a
crazy. That is the
it
most
just leaves
crazy.
a really nasty taste in the mouth. Like you do this to your own people.
Yeah.
Clearly,
I mean, history is proving that. So yeah, like they don't care about you. You can be replaced.
with high rise and high price condos, apparently.
They don't care about you. You can be replaced. This is why they try to make sure y'all have more kids so y'all can be replaced. So yeah, they know what they doing. Hey, worker bees gonna work, man. Drones going drones.
You
Stormtroopers going
stupid Joe.
stormtroop.
Not a drunk. But yeah, there's a lot of things, but no, if I can in all good conscience say, okay, Katrina was worse. The black part of me wants what even the black part of me can't agree with that because there was quite a few black folk in Manhattan and affected by this tragedy. So no, I can't even just if I look at it from the blackity black aspect, can't ride with that. I can't ride with that. Both were horrific. Now the problem is again, Katrina was protracted. The other problem is it showed a lot of other issues right beneath the surface. It showed the racial issues. If you haven't watched the Katrina documentary done by Ryan Coogler, one, it's brilliant. But two, it showed a lot. I can say I was completely wrong. I thought this was one of those weird places, another one of those places where race and class intersect. And I thought, worst case scenario, let's just say this was backwoods Florida. What if Katrina twists, doesn't hit New Orleans and Louisiana at all, but hits Florida? You get the same result. No, you absolutely saw a lot of racial bull come to the surface during a time of disaster, mind you.
Won't be the first.
Like and of all times, to put your racist Confederate flag waving BS aside, is human lives at stake here.
They don't see you as human.
Touche.
I'm like, I don't think people understand what real hatred is.
You're right.
I think we just say it like, oh, I hate you, right? But you don't really mean it. You don't really hate that person. Real hatred, there is no waving. That's real. It's in your heart, it's in your soul. That won't ever really change. So
You're
yeah,
right.
trying to find humanity, think they'll have humanity for people they hate. No, they won't. They'll probably be happy about it. They might help you along. So
You're
yeah,
right.
like nah, I'm
They
not.
don't.
That's real hatred. That's,
Keep forgetting about that. You're right. That the absence of humanity is a constant. It is what allows you to enslave and essay an entire race of people, to indoctrinate them to believe that quote unquote God is white, to see someone give birth and rip this baby out of their arms, to put on your Sunday bests and go watch someone be lynched. So you are correct. I forgot about the lack of humanity.
that's how you justify all the man. That's the caste system. That's the first thing we already seen being it done to, Hispanic people. All that. The first thing you do to get people on your side to hate a certain group is to dehumanize. That's how you do it
Mhm.
with slaves. They did it with the Jews, with the Nazis. That's how they did. That's how they do it in the Indian caste system. Everything is just one big caste. The top will just decide who to dehumanize, and then everyone else will follow to hate them, and then it'll make it acceptable things done to them. So yeah, that's history.
Yeah, I do. Because of my place in this quote unquote caste system, I tend to disregard that because it is unheard of for me. But that's the thing. I'm not in a position of power. I would never view someone as less than human. Um,
It's not you.
but that is a character of what they do. That is a unique characteristic of white supremacy. You have to dehumanize. You absolutely have to do.
It doesn't
I
work
can't
though, Joe.
enslave you. I can't enslave another human. So I just don't consider you human.
Makes it a lot easier.
Absolutely. And I certainly can't enslave someone I think looks like quote unquote God. So we got to get that blue eyes and blonde hair going. Somehow you left in the part about, skin of bronze, but anywho, hair of wool and skin of bronze. Somehow you
As
left
if
that in.
we already talked about it. If Jesus came back and he was biblically accurate, he would get deported. I think we already realized that would really happen, and then we will all be screwed because rapture happened right after that. But yeah,
Right. Right. So, but yeah, put the cap on it. No, I can't. Um, I just one of those. That's a river too far to cross. No pun intended. I cannot say Katrina's worse than 9/11. By no stretch of the imagination. I can't. I get where I do. I'm not gonna say it's out of bounds to say it. I do get where someone can believe that, but just putting both things out there. No, I couldn't. I couldn't say that. Like there was a chance of survival for Katrina. Your chance of survival for 9/11 was that much.
if you were in that area,
If you were in those towers,
yeah.
that much, that much. Like Katrina, you just had to ride it out. This, no, a plane flew into a building, my guy. It's nope, niggity, nope.
Well,
So
I'm not doing the comparing the trauma stuff.
no,
Things
no,
go
no.
bad, so tragic times
All
enough.
right. So run it back, recap. Let's start from the beginning to the top of the list. Happy birthday to hip hop. You've come a long way. You just haven't come as far as I thought. There's still some ways to go. I don't know if it'll get there, but happy birthday to hip hop. Shout out to those who are actually good ambassadors of it, not just on some goofy nonsense. Um, I'm not quite sure what the end game is here. I hate how it looks. Why is there National Guardsmen deployed in DC and talks of it in Baltimore? There's literally a reduction in every major crime. This is out and out lying. And now it's getting even more spooky and more dangerous. That's kind of wild. Um, I don't know if we touched on it. My panic level right now, we're at a 6.5, primarily because I see what's happening. I can't see what's coming. And that's the part. that gets very spooky because you see what's happening. Then you start, as Malice said, don't take much to put two and two. So you don't know what's coming, or you don't want to accept what might be coming down the line. Um, Captain America, yes, Captain America and Marvel said, "Eyes up, everybody, eyes up." And the shooting at the CDC, that was wild. That was just wild. I, Sad reality I was given how things are going. I don't think you needed a jab to feel depressed and anxious about the world right now. Like I took a jab at first, and believe me, my anxiety levels is going up. And then, lastly, no, I can't agree that Katrina was worse than 9/11. I do kind of sort of understand the point that was trying to be made. It just doesn't hold up. All right, your recap, sir.
Um, yeah, I guess anniversary of hip hop. Shout out, like I said, Malice rapper of the year right now. Boys on the generational run. Might have to do a debate next time. Who's the better rapper between the two? My
Ooh.
money might be Malice. I ain't gonna lie to you. But National Guard in DC. Yeah, World Cup's coming next year. Wow, next year. So World Cup's coming next year, and we did talk about briefly. How's our nation's capital have all this homeless on their front door, and now you're gonna bring in the whole world here?
Good
So I
point.
guess they're doing
Yeah,
a cleanup right now.
good point. I forgot about that. Good point.
So yeah, they're disguising as something else, which is crazy. But it's like, yeah,
Totally.
we're gonna put those homeless people there. All right. And what else you doing? Because there's no need for barricades to escort homeless people to prison. So yeah, I don't know what else you're gonna do to clean up. So, tan us up, people. Protect your neck, Wu-Tang. Uh, Shooting the CDC. Yeah, yeah. I don't need a jab to have to feel all that. That's standard for me. That's my default. But nah. I hope that wasn't the case. Like he was normal. I don't know if you can be normal if you go to Afghanistan, but you could be. You never know. But yeah, that's deep. And I don't think it was a win. I don't get what you said. They said China has way less deaths. Answer that. I win. Nobody won. Katrina. I'm not going to compare it to you. Those are both tragic times in history for people. Like I said, Katrina was worse to seem for people that look like us, but 9/11 was bad for everybody. Everybody can get it, unfortunately. But one common denominator, government. That's all I see. Government.
All right. So, on behalf of myself, my super dope co-host on the hippity hop hop, you don't stop. Um, behalf of the year I set a podcast, same bad time, same bad channel. Everybody stay safe out there. Peace.
Yeah.